they just execute the decisions, but do not have powers on behalf of the people. A group of such functionaries is called the executive, as it executes the policies of the government. The executive has two categories: political and permanent. The political executive consists of political leaders who are elected by the people for a specific term. The permanent executive includes members who are appointed on a long-term basis. These members remain in office even when the party in power changes. The permanent executive is also called the civil services. They work under the political executive and help in the administration. The political executive has more powers and the final say in all important decisions. The ministers make the final decision, as they are the representatives of the people. This is what happens in a democratic form of government. The ministers consult experts and then make decisions based on the overall objective of the government. The political executive includes the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. The President appoints the leader of the majority or the coalition party that has a majority in the Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister remains in office as long as he or she remains the leader of the majority party or the coalition. In other words, the Prime Minister remains in office as long as he or she enjoys the confidence of the Lok Sabha. The remaining ministers are appointed by the President based on the Prime Minister's advice. These ministers are usually from the party or the coalition that has a majority in the Lok Sabha. Did you know a person who is not a member of Parliament can also become a minister? However, such a member has to get elected to one of the houses of the Parliament within 6 months of appointment. The group of ministers is called the Council of Ministers. It includes about 70 members of different ranks. The Council of Ministers includes cabinet ministers, ministers of state with independent charge, and ministers of state. A union cabinet minister is a senior minister from the ruling party in charge of a ministry. A cabinet minister may also hold additional charges of other ministries where no other cabinet minister is appointed. The cabinet is the internal ring of the Council of Ministers. It consists of around 20 members. The ministers of state with independent charge do not have a union cabinet minister overseeing that portfolio. They are in charge of smaller ministries and participate in cabinet meetings when invited. A minister of state is a junior minister with an overseeing cabinet minister, usually having specific responsibility in that ministry. For instance, a minister of state in the finance ministry may only handle taxation. A minister of state is attached to the cabinet minister concerned and has only administrative powers. Most important decisions are made in cabinet meetings. Due to this reason, parliamentary democracy is also known as the cabinet form of government. All ministers are supposed to honor the decisions of the cabinet. The Prime Minister has several powers as the head of the government. He chairs cabinet meetings and assigns work to the other ministers. He also has the power to dismiss ministers. If the Prime Minister resigns, the entire ministry is supposed to have resigned. The cabinet is the most powerful institution in India, and the Prime Minister is the most powerful member in the cabinet. Recently, the power of the Prime Ministers has increased so much that parliamentary democracies are sometimes called the prime ministerial form of government. Due to the major role of political parties in politics, and as the Prime Minister can control the cabinet and parliament through the party, the powers are concentrated on the Prime Minister. Earlier, Prime Ministers like Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi exercised a lot of authority and power as they had a lot of influence over the public. Due to coalition politics of recent times, the power of the Prime Minister has been somewhat limited. The Prime Minister has to consider the views of different partners in the coalition. This is because their support is important for the survival of the government. The President is the head of the state and has nominal powers. The President supervises the overall functioning of all political institutions in the country to achieve the objectives of the state. The President is not directly elected by the people. All the members of Parliament or MPs and the members of the state legislative assemblies elect the President. Thus, in a way, the President represents the nation. Though the President has nominal powers as per the Constitution, he or she plays an important role. All major government activities, policy decisions and laws are issued in the name of the President. The President takes all major decisions based on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Any bill passed by the Parliament becomes a law only if the President approves it. If the President wants, he or she can delay it and then send it again to the Parliament. If the Parliament passes the bill again, the President has to sign it. One major decision that the President makes on his or her own is to appoint the Prime Minister. The President appoints the leader of the majority party or the coalition that enjoys a majority support in the Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister.